All right, and there. Oh, we're turning on. We're turning on red versus blue. So Dead and Loving It. Dead and Loving It versus the Nappanee Nightmare is the game up now. S-Beaver versus Proudstar. This one is in fact live. And it looks like Dead and Loving It on offense. They have the ball on the opposing 2-yard line. So to reiterate here, I think the Nappanee Nightmare is a solid underdog in this lineup. They've got these fantastic vampires they're up against that have block on a number of players. No block on their team, but they do have horns on the Beastmen. They need to leverage horns to blitz, to get the strength 4, to get the 2-die blocks, and I think really go after these thralls. If they can get these thralls off the pitch ASAP, then they have a chance to win this one, in my opinion. I would have went, we had a pregame earlier, I'll reiterate, I think they got 160K in petty cash. I would have gone with a wizard. Nappanee Nightmare ending up going with one of the wandering apothecaries. You know what? I'll put up a prediction for this game. There you go. We put up the prediction for 5 minutes so you can get a little bit of game time to inform your prediction. Two-die block over in the left wide zone here. Let's turn on red versus blue. There we go. Vampires in the blue. Chaos Chosen of Corn in the red. Two-die against Alan Green. Gets a pal here. 8+ breaks armor. No armor break. So again, these vampires, very, very, very good pieces. Look at the throwers. Strength 4, edge 2, passing 2, with the passing skill, with Hypno Gaze. Absolutely fantastic. Of course, the downside is that they're always rolling a D6 for their nega trait, their Bloodlust. Which means if they fail the Bloodlust roll, they've got to end their turn next to a Thrall, or else it's going to be a turnover. If they end their turn next to the Thrall, then they will roll an injury roll, a straight injury roll on the Thrall. And so vampire teams tend to burn through their Thralls. They also tend to burn through rerolls, right? You can see that Dead and Loving It has 5 rerolls on the roster, and normally that might be a little much. Not so for a vampire team, right? You really want to make sure these really, really good players you have are as reliable as possible. Without those rerolls, you would have to be. You'd have to, let's say you're here, right? You'd have to be setting up a Thrall here, or a Thrall here. Wherever you want to move, you've got to have a Thrall to where you want to end up, because if you fail that Bloodlust roll, you can't end up there without it being a turnover. It's important to note, if you are the ball carrier and you fail Bloodlust and you don't feed on a Thrall, you will lose the ball. You'll fumble the ball, you will go, I guess, confused, you'll lose your tackle zones. Cobblestone says that Telestrator of Doom's in effect. It is indeed. Any removals yet? Doesn't look like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11v11 on the pitch. Clear skies for the game this evening. The Chaos team, of course, a kill team, very similar to a Nurgle team. Weak at low TV, they get very strong at higher TVs. They They have access to mutations. They can really kid out some kill players. But struggle a little bit at low TV. And in this matchup, I think it makes him a clear underdog. Succeeded the Bloodlust roll. Succeeded on the first 2+ dodge. Woo! My goodness! The dice! I don't know how many die rolls that was. 73, baby? 73 die rolls to try to score? What a touchdown! 1-0 with the early touchdown for Dead and Loving It. Holy moly! Take a bow indeed. Well done. Just a die-chucking frenzy here for Dead and Loving It. Burned through a couple of rerolls. Succeeded on the handoff, got through the Bloodlust roll, and that is a touchdown. The Vam Dicers. Proudstar says that was a crap ton of dice. That was. So 11 on the pitch for Dead and Loving It. 11 for this Chaos team. Worshipping Khorne, the god of war and murder. Wow, keeping a blitzer off the pitch. So Father May not taking to the pitch, instead favoring the extra thrall. Lots and lots of dice by the thrower. The thrower in the back of the anchor here. That's Frank Drebin II, showing just how much of a pro of chucking dice he really is. Five on the line for the Chaos team right now. Oh, I love the fire horns. Those are wicked. 5 on the line for the offense, 3 for the defense of the anchor formation. 2 back to receive. Speedy Gonzalez on the left, wearing number 7. Raven the Rampager, the rookie, number 9 on the right. Both on the 20-yard line. Here's the kick. Brilliant coaching. Goes to Dead. Goes to Dead and Loving It. They're going to pick up another reroll. They're happy to have it. Good catch, good recovery here of the, or good reception on the kick here for Nappanee Nightmare. They don't have to worry about the ball pickup. They got a removal on the right defensive end. One-man player advantage now. SB here says that was my runner, not thrower. The runner, okay, sure. Nappanee Nightmare taking the blocks on the line here, as they must. They get a pal here as well, looking for an 8+. Another removal. Well done. 2-man player advantage now for the Nappanee Nightmare. They still have this Minotaur as well. This Minotaur wants to be blocking or blitzing. Otherwise, it's a 4+ on the Negatrait roll, which is called Unchanneled Fury. Strength 5 with Mighty Blow and Frenzy means they can set up a 3-die, really a 6-die blitz. And with a +1 to the armor roll against a thrall, that makes that a 7+. Good action order here by Proudstar, moving players up before rolling dice here on the left side. Oh no, failed the Unchanneled Fury roll. Got through the loner roll. No rerolls remaining. Got the pal. Breaks armor. Gets a stun out of this. Wow. Unchanneled Fury fails on a 4+ unless you're blocking or blitzing. Otherwise, it fails on a 2+. He rolled a 1. Spent the team reroll. Got through the loner roll. And was able to continue with the blitz. Turn 4 now for Dead and Loving It. No rerolls remaining for the Nappanee Nightmare. Electric Spence is unbelievable. Still having rerolls to use on turn 3. Minute 20 on the clock here for Dead and Loving. Yeah, for Dead and Loving It. So Nappanee Nightmare has pushed in on the left side a little bit, trying to control the left side of the pitch. We'll see how Dead and Loving It responds to this. They could swing out this way. I don't think they will. I think they're going to try to stay in front. The problem is Hypnogaze, right? They have Hypnogaze. This is a special action that these vampires have. They can take the Hypnogaze action to turn off the tackle zones of a player. And they have a number of players with Hypnogaze. So if you imagine this were a 4-point cage, and I have a vampire. Oh, he doesn't have tackle zones anymore. Oh, he doesn't have tackle zones anymore. Sorry. Now I've got my strength 4 vampire. I've got a 2-die block. Sorry about that, buddy. The real way to defend against that, if there are enough vamps on the pitch, like if there are 5 or 6 vampires on the pitch, you've got to set up, you've got to double cage or set up a minefield of tackle zones and just make them chuck a bunch of dice. Armor break by the Vargeist here against the number 11 Journeyman. Gets a stun here. Mr. Rocker Crocker says only having 3 Hypnogaze makes vamps fair and balanced. Yeah, I will say having more Hypnogaze on the pitch is scary for opponents. Mr. Rocker Crocker says I'm even okay with a 4th because you can easily double screen. Turn 4 now for the Nappanee Nightmare. So I bought, I was playing a Ninja Turtles board game with some friends this week. And after playing it, we played on a map that was the Technodrome. And I unmatched, the new unmatched set, yeah. And I decided I wanted the old Playmates Technodrome. And so I bought it. And now I have the Technodrome. It's not expensive either. I mean, it's a toy, so why would it be? But still. 2-die block. Labris, the Minotaur, gets a POW on the Frenzy follow-up. 9+ breaks armor here on the big guy. Doesn't get the armor break. $50 seconds to go here for the Nappanee Nightmare. They've got the ball on their own 2-yard line. Nappanee Nightmare setting up a cage on the opposing 6-yard line now. Here's the blitz. 2-die blitz on Jim McKay. Proudstar doing exactly what I think they need to do here. They are targeting these thralls. Got the knocked out, breaks armor. That is another thrall off the pitch. That makes thrall number 3 removed. 4 thralls left on the pitch. 2-die against Colonel Cheese, going to be a pal. Larry Longhorn on the block. Another armor break. Huge! Huge armor break here. Regen kicks in, thankfully for Dead and Loving It. But Colonel Chi, the vampire runner, back in the reserve box there. 2 great removals here for Nappanee Nightmare. Re-undeath to undead. Spire says, punch those thralls. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, all right, I'm free. What was the board game? It was the new unmatched set. The new unmatched set. I love unmatched. I love restoration games. I literally own every game they've released. But yeah, it was the new unmatched set. We played 2 games of it. And proud star demanding death. It has a different ring to it when you're worshiping corn. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, I'm looking into it because Unmatched is not a game I'm familiar with, but I'm all in on TMNT. So Unmatched is a remake of Jedi Epic Duels. It is a head-to-head competitive game. How do you even describe it? So, like, there are 2 characters, 2 heroes. Sometimes there's more than one. It depends. It's basically one side has a bunch of characters. It could be 1 character. It could be many, like a hero and a bunch of sidekicks or something. And the other side has some as well. And you're on a board, and you're moving around the board trying to gain positioning. And you have a deck of cards, and your cards are your actions. It's really good. Blitz on the ball carrier after hypno-gazing Momo McSafety. 2-die blitz. This will work out. Well done by Frank Drebin II. Failed the foul appearance roll. Spent a re-roll to succeed. You know what, SPV? Now that Frank Drebin's done something, you know what? Here we go. Here we go. There you go. Vargeist fails the bloodlust roll. So he's going to try to dodge out here. If he fails the dodge, or even if he succeeds, I think this is going to be the end of the turn. Spent another reroll on the dodge here. So now Dead and Loving It down to 1 reroll. Mr. Rocker Crocker wants to double check the dice logs. Let me know if you want me to go back further. But it's a head-to-head game where there's deck management. There you go. There's deck management. There's positioning. Different maps have different things. The characters are all wildly different. They all have no problem at all. They all have different skills that I would argue, quote unquote, break the game. It's a lot of fun. And there are so many properties in it now that you can have Donatello from the Ninja Turtles face off against the T-Rex from Jurassic Park. You can have the Invisible Man face off against Bloody Mary. You can have Buffy the Vampire Slayer face off against Splinter. It's awesome. Double skulls on the Minotaur Blitz. Frank Drebin of Police Squad kicks the Minotaur in the face. Turn 6 for Dead and Loving It. Mr. Rocker Crocker says the Funko Pop game is like that. We have Harry Potter, which you can throw the Golden Girls into. That's awesome. Yeah, Unmatched is fantastic. Yeah, there are 100,000 blocks of Unmatched. Bruce Lee is in it. Muhammad Ali is in it. I mean, there's just so many characters in it. There's a ton of Marvel characters in it. You can be Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park. The unmatched set with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comes in a white box. That's called Unmatched Adventures. There's 2 Unmatched Adventures sets. Those 2 can be played cooperatively, but you can also play them competitively with all the black boxes as well. I prefer the competitive mode. The co-op mode's fine though. It's a good game. I also have, so the original game was Star Wars Jedi Epic Duels, I believe is what it was called. Woo! No Fear by Frank Drebin. Wow! Good recovery by Dead and loving it here. They're in the lead and have recovered the ball. They're on the opposing 8-yard line now. I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, it was originally Star Wars Jedi Epic Duels, I think is what it was called, or Epic Battles maybe. But there was also a Transformers version, a Transformers Armada version. I still have that, which is great. Two die block on by Thad Evans, by Speedy Gonzalez against Thad Evans. Doesn't get an armor break here. Offense has to pivot here and play some defense. They can absolutely get dice on the ball. There's a mark against Frank Drebin, the thrower. Now a mark against Caldo Vasco, the number 6 blitzer. The blitzers and the big guy have a bloodlust of 3+. That bloodlust roll fails on a 3 rather than a 2, like the thrower and the runner. So a little bit more risky with those players. Black Wolf says, I still have the entire collection of He-Man action figures and castles in my mom's storage shed. That's awesome. I have a He-Man board game that's great. There are certain ways to play. Oh! Double skulls on the blitz again! Frank Drebin! A master of not getting hit in the face. His ninja skills are unbelievable. They know no peers. Yeah, I have a He-Man board game that's really good. There's certain scenarios that are terrible, but if you play it the way it was obviously designed to be played, it's fantastic. But if you play like any of the extra modes, they're terrible. Spire says Speedy Gonzalez is the best name. It really is. It's a great name. Two die on Momo McSafety, gets the knockdown due to the block skill. Breaks armor, gets a stun. Went to a restaurant with some good friends of mine on Friday, and the waiter remembered us. We've only been there once before, and the waiter remembered us. That was very nice, and we remembered him too. So it was a nice experience. Another removal here. The number 11 Journeyman taken off the pitch. First removal for Dead and loving it. Turn 7 now for the Nappanee Nightmare. They can get at this ball with Argus the Animal, but it's going to have to be a straight shot, I think. 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. And the problem is Caldo Vasco. So the only shot they have at the ball is with Argus the Animal, and that is quite a play. It'd be a 3+ dodge to 2 rushes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, rush. Second blitz rush. No rerolls for the Nightmare. Good 50-50 stand-up by the Minotaur. It's always a 50-50 if he's not blocking or blitzing. Otherwise, it's a 2+. That's the big weakness of the Minotaur. The Minotaur's great with Frenzy and Mighty Blow, and a Strength of 5, of course. But if you could just get that Minotaur to back off for a turn, whether you knock it down and it's stunned, failed the dodge. Yeah, unfortunate. It's really the only thing they could do to try to stop the score. Turn 8 for Dead and Loving It with no rerolls remaining. I think they're going to walk the ball into the end zone. Scary touchdown there without the thrall, but it works out. And Dead and Loving It is going to increase their lead 2-0. Well done. -1 point for not having any cheerleaders, though. One more turn left in the half of the Nappanee Nightmare. If they want to get on the board, they're going to hope for a timeout. Dice aside, again, this was this matchup on paper clearly in favor of the Vampire team. Difficult matchup for the Chaos team, but I think Proudstar's been doing exactly what they need to do there. They've really been hunting those thralls and being fairly successful with it. You can see here 3 out right now. I think that's the only way they're going to come out of this with a win or a draw. They've got to get those thralls off the pitch and then just make everything really scary for Dead and Loving It. Eight on the pitch for the Vampire team. 3 thralls on the line. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to turn it off. 3 on the line here for Nappanee Nightmare. They, too, will have 8 on the pitch. Even if they can't score here, they don't get the timeout. They've got 3 golden opportunities to get rid of some thralls. Seven on the line here for the offense. 1 back to receive that may not make a difference. That's Speedy Gonzalez. We'll see where this kick ends up. No kicker for the Vampire team. Shallow kick for the Nappanee Nightmare. They can get under this ball. They'll probably put someone under the ball. Good catch, and they'll try to get a point of SPP on a throw. But first order of business is to murder some thralls. 2 die over on the right side with the Minotaur. A push into a frenzy follow-up. Gets the knockdown. 7+ breaks armor. There's the armor break. Just gets a stun out of it. 2 die against Alan Green's a knockdown. Looking for an 8+ this time. Breaks armor again. Only gets a stun. Surprised he didn't take it with the block player first. But that's all right. Here's that 3rd and final block. Double pals. Can he get an 8+ here as well? Can it be something other than a stun? Oh, didn't take it with the block player. Took it with Raven the Rampager. Probably trying to pick up some SPP there. Going for the foul, it looks like. 2 assists on the foul against Thad Evans. Sorry, 3 assists. Now 4 assists. Each assist reduces his armor value, his effective armor value by 1. Now it's a 4+ to break armor on the foul. 3+ to break armor on the foul. There it is. There's the armor break. Let's go. Didn't get anything out of it, but didn't get called off the pitch either. Again, Proudstore doing everything they need to do here. It's a tough matchup, but I think strategically, tactically, they're doing exactly what they need to do. 2-0 the score. Dead and Loving It will be on defense. Nappanee Nightmare will be on offense to start the second half of this game. Clavius, welcome to the stream. Have you been here this whole time? Well, it doesn't matter. I can say welcome more than once. Welcome to the stream. Oh, thanks, Electric Man. I appreciate it. Great to be here. So now 9 taking to the pitch for Dead and Loving It. 3 on the line. Putting Father Mayhe over on the left side of the line and Uncle Albert on the right side. Budgie with the follow. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for the follow. So now putting some high-strength players on the line here, trying to save some of the few thralls remaining on this team. 4 thralls left on the team, left alive. Now 7 on the line for Nappanee Nightmare. Seven on the line. Here's the kick. Deep kick. Is that a touchback? Nobody gets the brilliant. Wow. Put that ball right in the corner. Very deep kick by the Vampire team. They are absolutely pleased with that kick. 2-die block against Father Mayhe. This will be a push result. And now 2-die against the nose guard here, or the nose tackle. Gets a knockdown. Alan Green, but he's going to remain alive. Vargeist over on the right side. It's going to be the target of the Minotaur, no doubt. Corner of shame ball. Somebody get a dunce cap. Push on the first block. Frenzy follow-up coming up. 2-die Frenzy follow-up into another push. Thought he might try to pick off the Vargeist, but he pushes him back. That's totally fair. And now trying to carve out the right side of the pitch. 2-die blitz against Colonel Cheese. A pow. 8+ breaks armor. And I cut my finger. I don't know how. There's the armor break. Could be a big removal. Got it! Colonel Chi once again taken off the pitch. Every one of these removals is big for this Chaos team at this point. Turn 9 now for Dead and Loving It. Every vampire removed is one less vampire you can do something with. Every thrall removed is one less opportunity you have to do something with a vampire. Blitz to start the drive. Father Mayhe, or to start the turn, I should say. Father Mayhe on the blitz. 2-die against Argus the Animal. Got a pow out of it. a 1 die against the Vargas. Gets a push. Or by the Vargas, I should say. Had to frenzy follow up there. That's not going to work out. Is he going to risk? Yeah, is he going to risk the reroll? He's not going to risk the reroll. That's going to be a turnover. Frenzy requires you to follow up if the first block is a push and take another block. Great for chucking dice, bad for positioning. You have to be careful of the frenzy trap. Man, I really cut myself. How did this happen? Two die against Father Mayhe on the blitz. Gets the knockdown. Scary ball pickup in the corner here. That's a 5 in 8 chance that on a fumbled pickup that this ball goes out of bounds and then ends up who knows where. Pajib says, Vampire's getting a bite on you? Maybe so. Maybe I'm a thrall. I have been replaying a vampire series called Legacy of Kain. It is one of my favorite game series. It's pretty old at this point, but man, it holds up. It's fantastic. I'm gonna work there's 5 games. I love all 5 of them. Starting with the first one, and I'm having a blast. I love it so much. That's not Twilight. 25 seconds ago in turn 10. Here's the pickup, works out. Whew, a little bit of a prayer to Nuffle there. Hands the ball off to Momo McSafety. Now has the ball on the 18-yard line. Momo McSafety moves up, I should say, to the 4. Grooby the Annoying will come up to cover. That's the turn. Turn 10, back to Dead and Loving It. They have a 2-point lead. They're under no pressure to do anything here other than perhaps score, right? The only pressure they really feel is if they want to pick up TDs to increase their standing, because that matters, right? You get standing is by league points first. You get 3 points for a win, 1 for a draw. And then there's a series of tiebreakers. The first one is who beat whom. The second one is your TD differential. So if you take the touchdowns you've scored in this competition, subtract the ones you've given away, that's your TD differential. That's a big factor in tiebreakers. Spire says, we knew you'd beat Team Edward. PB says, I've been playing a deeply moving game this week, Pitball. It's a bullet hell game where you move down a path firing balls. Deeply moving. Hypnogaze used by Frank Drebin II against Gregor the Mountain. Here's the blitz on Larry Longhorn. Gets the knockdown thanks to block. Great blitz. Gets a stun out of this. The Beastmen are really the ball carrier. They're not. I mean, you could put that ball in the hands of a chosen blocker, really, but the Beastmen are really the ball carriers there. They have the speed, I guess, quote unquote. They have an MA of 6, and then that blitz is always scary, right? Even if they're the ball carrier. If you're new to the game of Blood Bowl, one thing to keep in mind: you tend to think of the ball carrier as somebody you want to keep safe. Don't be afraid to blitz with the ball carrier if it makes sense, right? If somebody's marking the ball carrier and the ball carrier can make himself safe on a blitz, by all means do so. With these ball carriers having horns, if they blitz, that gives them +1 strength on that blitz. That brings them up to an effective strength of 4. Failed Bloodlust roll is going to feed on. Yeah, this is how it goes for Vamps on Buddy Fox. That's another thrall removed. Just 3 thralls on the pitch here for Dead and Loving It. Nappanee Nightmare not out of this game. If these thralls go away, another failed Bloodlust roll. Is he going to dodge away to avoid the feeding? Another Thrall goes. Ooh. Another removed Thrall. This one's not coming back. 2 Thralls left on the pitch. Double pals against Raven the Rampager. Looking to even some odds here with Thad Evans. So Legacy of Kain, I bought the first one when it came out before it became a big series. It really became a big series with the second game, Soul Reaver, which is also fantastic. But I bought it on a whim when it came out. It is so incredibly good. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like an action RPG, but the protagonist is a bit of a anti-hero, perhaps even a villain, not to spoil anything. But he narrates the game as you play. And at the time, that was novel. It was like, wow, this is great. And it's beautiful, and it's a great game. And it tells this fantastic story with themes of like fate and stuff. But they're also just really fun games. There's 5 in the series. There's Legacy of Kain, there's Soul Reaver 2, Blood Omen 2. So the first game is called Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. There's Blood Omen 2, and then there's Legacy of Kain Defiance, which sort of ties all of it together. It's one big story that it tells. Arguably, Blood Omen 2 doesn't quite fit in, but I argue it does. And then it ties up in a nice little bow with Defiance. They're all really great action. I would say they're all action games except for the first one. But Soul Reaver did something like novel as well when they made that. There were 2 different worlds, so like when you died in that game, the game wasn't over, which was novel, really novel at the time. And what would happen is you would just kind of go into the netherworld, and the world you were in would in real time transform into a different world. And they built gameplay around like swapping between these worlds in real time that were happening without loading screens on the PlayStation 1. Oh man, it was so cool. And it still is just a plain old great game. Spire rooting for this Chaos offense. Turn 11 now for Dead and Loving It. They're down to 2 Thralls on the pitch. I think they're hoping for a score to try to get back some of these KOs. But I think Proudstar, of course, hoping for a score as well to try to get back in this game. Another failed Bloodlust roll. He's going to have to spend a reroll here. Got through it this time. Two plus dodge to a blitz. 2-die blitz. That'll work out due to block. Well done. Ball bounces to the Vampire 2-yard line. And the blitzer tries to recover the ball. Fails the ball pickup, spends another reroll. Dead and Loving It down to 3 rerolls, but they have recovered. Caldo Vasco now in possession of the ball. And Dead and Loving It threatening to score for the 3rd time in this game. Remember, they don't have those Thralls downfield. So if they fail a Bloodlust roll, they're not going to be able to get that ball in the end zone. Ten seconds on the clock for Dead and Loving It. Trying to figure out how they can get some assistance for the ball carrier. They're going to take a block against Gregor the Mountain. It's just going to be a push here. Frank Drebin on the block. Dead and Loving It on the bonus clock. Down to 4 minutes, 15 seconds. Spent another reroll here on a failed Bloodlust roll. And this is going to be a push against Ando Pain in the neck. So Dead and Loving It down to 2 rerolls for the game. Turn 12 now for Nappanee Nightmare. 2-die block against Alan Green. This is a POW. one of the 2 remaining thralls. 8+ to break armor. There it is. Wah! There it is. 1 thrall remaining on the pitch. And here's the block. Spends a reroll. Just gets a push out of it. He'll push into another block here for sure. Oh, he doesn't. Thought for sure he'd push up here for the second block. But he does need some free players to go after the ball carrier, so that's fair. One thrall remaining. If you want to score a touchdown with a vampire and you fail your bloodlust roll, you need a thrall by the end zone, in or near the end zone, that you can bite, or else you do not get to score. 2-die blitz against Father Mayhe gets a pow out of this. Frees up pain in the neck here. A stand-up blitz by Momo McSafety will be 2 dice. He's going to take the blitz with the Minotaur, I think. Is he free? He's not free. He's going to take the blitz with Speedy Goat Zales. No, wait. The blitz was already spent? What just happened? What was that blitz on? Fair enough, BB Nut. He's not free. He's like 150K. Both down on the big guys. Turn 12 now for 10. Loving it. Final turn of the 3rd quarter. Blitz with Caldo Vasco. Really? Really? So an uphill blitz here by Caldo Vasco. Unless he's going to dodge and blitz like Speedy Gonzalez. He is going to dodge. Spends another reroll. Fails the dodge. And the ball's going to stay right where it was for the null turn. 4th quarter begins. Nappanee Nightmare trying to get on the board. Blitz does lower the blood. Yeah, Blitz gives you a plus. Blitz or a block gives you a +1 to your bloodlust roll. BB Nut says, classic vampire game. Try to get enough touchdowns before the team explodes. Yes, indeed. Pajib asks, do adjacent teammates help with rolls on fouls? They do indeed. They lend assist just like a block. Yep, BB Nut's exactly right. As long as they aren't marked, they will lend an assist. On a foul, they basically reduce the armor value of the person you're fouling by 1 for every assist. Turn 13 for Dead and Loving It. Nappanee Nightmare now threatening to score on the opposing 12-yard line as the Vampires running out of players. They have just 5 players left on the pitch, 1 thrall remaining, which makes repositioning the Vampires really scary. Yes, unless the target has Iron Hard Skin. Yep. Dead and Loving It with plenty of time on the bonus clock. A little over 4 minutes and a little over 1 minute on the turn clock. as they take their first turn of the fourth quarter. They're in the lead, 2-0. Really, all they're trying to do is slow down the score attempt. Oh no, Frank Drebin. Null turn on the stand-up blitz. Turn 14 for Nappanee Nightmare. I have to imagine they're going to try to score here. They're running out of time. They still have an opportunity to tie this game. BBNet says, I've seen the bug reported a few times this season. I'm not getting foul assists versus Chaos Dwarf blockers. That's not a bug. That's right. That is not a bug. Ironheart Skin, a new skill in the game, or a new skill in the game of Blood Bowl that Chaos Dwarves have. Or a new trait, I guess. Repositioning players here hasn't had to roll any bad dice there. Just the Unchanneled Fury roll, which wouldn't result in turnover. 2 rerolls remaining. It's going to be 1 rush to score here with Momo McSafety. They've got to get on the board on this turn if they have any hope of tying this game. The big risk, honestly, is these players coming back on the pitch. One rush will do it. There it is. Well done by Proudstar to get on the board. 2-1 the score in this game now. High scoring game as Dead and Loving It is going to be on offense once more. Sophiana, welcome to the stream. Oh, they don't get back any thralls. They did get back Colonel Chi, but no thralls. Well, I mean, I've got to draw on the screen, right? Wait, I don't want to draw on the underdog. BB-Nut demanding death. So 1 thrall will be taken to the pitch for the Vampire team. 6 players in total versus a full complement of this Chaos team. Praise Khorne! The Chaos chosen of Khorne, the Nappanee Nightmare. Naturally in red against Dead and Loving It with 6 on the pitch. 1 thrall means positioning these vampires and no rerolls is incredibly scary. BP does that thrall. This is fine. 5 on the line for the Nappanee Nightmare. They're playing close to the offense. They want to reclaim this ball in a couple of turns and pull out a draw. If they get a draw in this game, that will be very impressive, I think. 3 on the line, spread wide for the Vamps. Sophiana praying to Nuffle. Here's the kick. Proudstar might be considering something other than a dead straight kick here. Right in the middle. Right in the middle, and Nappanee Nightmare gets an extra reroll. Clivey says 1 thrall left. Yikes, yes indeed. Ball kicked to the 12-yard line. Turn 14 for Dead and Loving It. They did not get the reroll. Nuffle said, no, you've had enough. I'm cutting you off. You've had 1 reroll too many. I'm calling you a cab. And SP was like, listen, man, I just one more. I mean, you can kiss me if you want to. Sophiana says, is MAML a weekly or a bi-weekly league? It is a weekly league, but we grant coaches extensions in case like life gets in the way. So they can extend weeks. They get a small number of extensions in case they can't make it in a week. But generally speaking, it's a weekly league. Good pickup here by Colonel Chi. Colonel Chi has come back to play and moves this ball over all the way in the right wide zone on the Vampire 8-yard line. Vampire Cage with a thrall on the ball carrier. Electric Man says, I had a bug where I failed a dodge and I was waiting to say, it was waiting for me to say, so I'm going to switch context here real quick. One thing we didn't mention is when you fail the Bloodlust roll, if you have chosen a once per game action, you are allowed to switch your action to a regular action, meaning a block or a move if you wish. You're given that opportunity, and then you just fall on your face. And then you end up next to a thrall, or else it's a turnover. Electric Man said, I had a bug where I failed a dodge, and it was waiting for me to say whether or not to use a reroll, but the choice didn't show up, so I had to wait for my clock to run out. Ugh, that's unfortunate. Turn 15 for Nappanee Nightmare. They've got to end this turn in scoring position. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, next season should be the last of the 2020 rules, right? So it'll be fresh teams and new redraft. It's gonna be, so we have an invitational after this, and I think we're gonna start season 6 with the brand new rules, which are due out in April. It's gonna depend on how long it takes to finish. Like we're on week 7 of 9 in regulation in the Dungeonbowl, and then we've got the top 8 single elimination, and then we have our championship. So I think season 6 is going to start with the brand new 2025 rule set, but we'll see. Because we'll also have some time off between the seasons. Yeah. Two-die block against Uncle Albert II over on the left side here. So Nappanee Nightmare in scoring position right now. That's what they needed to do. Yeah, we still have to figure out like what we're gonna do, because like if we start the season on the 2020 rule set and that switches halfway through, that's a problem. so hopefully we can time this right, and we're just on the new rule set. Two-die blitz on the ball carrier. Got the pow here on Colonel Chi. An armor break would be very, very significant. Doesn't get it. Ball bounces in the hands of Pain in the Neck. He can't pick this ball up. Yes, he can! Yes, he can! Spent the reroll Nuffle provided, and the number 5 chosen blocker has the ball. Strength 4, Edge 3 player. Spent the reroll to claim the ball here. And now we'll have an opportunity to hand off to score. Electric Man says Warhammer Blood Bowl will be a new game to replace Blood Bowl 3. So it'll be the same SKU, meaning if you own Blood Bowl 3, you get Warhammer Blood Bowl for free. Like it's just going to be, it's renamed, and of course there's all the rules changes. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, how far out is he? The ball carrier here? I mean, he's out. He's in scoring position with Speedy Gonzalez. Pain in the Neck is one turn away, but I think Pain in the Neck wants to hand off, but that means Dead and Loving It really wants to block Pain in the Neck here. Fails the Bloodlust roll with Colonel Chi. Still gets the blitz here. Works out due to the block skill. Fat Evans! The thrall! He says, I can do more than be food! Thank you very much! SB Beaver on the sidelines like, What are you doing? He's like, what? I can do more, coach. Why did you do this? Oh, Thad Evans. Oh, man. Oh, beautiful. 3+ pickup to a 3+ handoff to score. 2 rerolls remaining. There's the pickup. Here's the handoff. The Nappanee Nightmare has done it. They've tied the game against all odds. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Thad Evans is getting fired. Thad Evans catching the ball. So Thad Evans was the. All right, so there was the blitz. Well, if there's a timeout, there still could be a win here. But Thad Evans was the one throw that was the only throw remaining. Colonel Chi came in on the blitz, failed the bloodlust roll, so needed to bite a thrall or else it was a turnover. The thrall caught the ball, which meant if that thrall gets bitten, then they will lose the ball, and that's a turnover. Here's the kick. It's a blitz by the Nappanee Nightmare. Oh my word! Unbelievable. The Nappanee Nightmare, the underdogs here, the vampire team, as vampires too, started eating their own players. And then Thad Evans was like, this is my time to shine. Oh man. Yeah, blitzing the fast player here on the MA8. Had to do it, got the blitz. Holy moly. Oh, boy. He was like, I can do this. I caught the ball. He looks over to the sideline. He's like, look what I did. Oh man, what a hero. Oh. Oh man. Oh my goodness gracious. After the failed bloodlust roll, that is going to be it. This one ends in a 2-2 draw after Dead and Loving It had a commanding lead 2-0 at the beginning of the half. I mean, Proud Star did everything we talked about in the pregame, and it ended up working out. Remember, those vampires eat into their own team as well. And as I believe BB Nuts said, it's like typical vampire game. Try to score as many touchdowns as you can before your team collapses. Oh boy. Oh man. And with that, Dead and Loving It there will pick up a second draw in this game. That was super duper fun. All right, let's take a look at the schedule before we leave for the evening. All right, I'll pay the points after we look at the schedule. All right, week 7 has just begun. We've got 2 games tomorrow, starting at 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's UTC -5. We'll get started with the NC Snakes versus Entanglements, Move versus Con Kill. That's going to be Dark Elves versus Imperial Nobility. And then later on that evening, At 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have Philosopher's Song versus World of Cheese. Spire versus James Like Snacks. That's the #1 team in Division C, Philosopher's Song. That's a Lizard team versus Pro Elves. And then this Tuesday, December 23rd at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we've got the Gastonburg Cavaliers versus the Mammal Nightmare. OWA versus Necro. That's Eagle TSI versus Festoon. 8 more games to be scheduled here in week number 7. And when those games get scheduled, you'll be able to check out and get alerted to that schedule on our website at mammal.club. That's MAML.club here on Twitch or on our social media pages on Blue Sky, X, and Facebook. You can also watch previous games on our YouTube channel. And I always forget the Discord channel. Let me put a link into the Discord. There you go. There's a link to our Discord channel. You can come, you can hang out, talk some Blood Bowl, talk anything you want, really. We also have 2 dedicated channels for the schedule and the standings. They're always up to date, and the schedule is in your time zone, wherever you may be, so you don't have to do any math calculations. If you haven't played this game, you gotta play it. Look, vampires facing off against a team that worships corn. This game is incredibly fun. You can play Blood Bowl via Blood Bowl 3 on Steam, the Epic Game Store, PlayStation, and Xbox, and in tabletop form at your friendly local game store. Until tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, that's UTC -5. Thanks for hanging out tonight. I'm glad we got a doubleheader in. This was a ton of fun. We'll see you back here tomorrow afternoon. Take care and enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening. Play Blood Bowl.